in Design X Go, we are going to create this connector. To help me to make a good definition, I just pre-aligned the part, and also I created some planes with right names, the names I prefer, and also some axes, X, Y, and Z axes, to help me to make revolution. Now, this connector, I have different operations to do. The first one would be to make the complete or the as big as possible revolution of the parts on the outside shape. So I will right mouse click here and I will make a mesh sketch. Software asks me, how do you want to make a mesh sketch? I don't want to make an extrude, so I will go to rotation method, central axis, Z axis, and I will maybe turn a little bit the plane to get some area where I get the bottom here. And okay. Now I will create my sketch, but first of all, I can retrieve the y-axis and the z-axis, as this is a revolution axis, and these can be used on the part. From that, I will now build my sketch, so I can double click here, double click there, and create all my curves on the part or lines. It's right now I create lines. Then from that, I can also, don't forget that one, I can create extra lines like that one between the two fillets. There is no line, so I will create that line. Then I will need to trim those lines. So I will trim by just dragging the mouse on the two lines to create a connectivity. So I will hide this green point, and just dragging or clicking, it's going to be the same. And finally, I will drag that and drag that. And of course, I will drag here. If you look closer, this is not really part of the revolution, so I will maybe modify my sketch and get rid of that, and maybe so remove trim and maybe just get a straight line here and get rid of that one. So from those two lines, I will create only that fillet. So I will just create a fillet between that line and that line. Right now it's not positioned in height, so I will just roughly position it, and then here I will adjust it to get the right shape. I can check deviation here and increase the vector multiplier to be sure that I'm at the right position. I can also create here a dimension on this fillet and round this dimension to 10th of millimeter just to have something which is good enough. And of course, you can adjust now every single information on your part to get a good accuracy. Okay, now I can continue on that, and this is good for me. I will exit and right mouse click, and I will make a revolution on that. So the software creates a revolution, and if I display now in my CAD, I got this shape. So this shape is okay with me. Just the problem here is that it's open in this area, it's not full. So I will need to create from that plane a mesh sketch again. I will move it down, and the best thing is to hide the CAD and to be sure to be exactly at this position. So I will move it down to 2 millimeters, so 2.1 here, and okay. Now from that, I will switch my screen and get this shape. So I will just create lines here, here. I can create also a symmetry if I would like to, but the easiest way here is to get as fast as possible on that part. After doing that, I will just create two circles. So center circles, one is going to be smaller and one as big as possible. I can also create dimension on that, extend those circles to the maximum, so on both sides, and then trim my part to get exactly the area I want to remove. So I will trim and make a power trim and remove over there. So I will get only the area I want to clean up. Now right mouse click here, extrude. I will switch my screen and extrude up to the bottom here, so I can create a plane but visually you can see the height of that. So it looks like it's 2 millimeters. Afterwards, I can change that by color mapping, but I don't want here to cut. I don't want to merge. I want to cut. And okay. So if I look at the part, I got that. Now, if we continue with that, we have two openings there. So I will maybe create these sketches in the same area I built the sketch for the rest of the part. So I can always display my sketch here, which is exactly in this position, and right mouse clicking on this plane and mesh sketch again. It's again a revolution. Central axis is always Z and base plane is the same one. I want to be on this side, so I will maybe reduce that plane. And in this case, I will just ask the software to turn a little bit to be there. And also I want to get this area at the same time. So I will add a new section at 0 millimeters. So I got two definitions in the same area. Okay. Now, if I switch my screen, I got this opening here and I got the rest. If I display my sketch, first sketch, I can retrieve that information. So I will just convert that information and also convert that one to get the plane. And okay. And from that, I will be able to create that sphere. So that sphere will be, that circle will be over there. I will just select the two and okay. And I will now hide my sketch. I don't need it anymore. And I will create the rest. So the rest will be, first of all, a little line here to create a solid body. And I will just go roughly in between, in middle of those area. And from here, I will create a fillet from here to there and adjust it, of course. You can always use the deviation if you want to check. So, of course, it checked too much, so I will limit the verification, but still the circle is going too low. So I don't need right now to check it. I will check it at the end. And of course, I will also create a fillet on the other side from here to there, and the software adapts to my part. If you're not really happy about because you were not very close, you can always go back and zoom in and adjust your definition. Now I can now trim it. So trim with power trim, I will remove that of course, and maybe remove that. I don't really need that. And I just need to finish with those little area. So here and there. Of course, I can trim it. So corner trim here and there. And extend my two lines up to the end. Of course, I can also create the fillet between here and there. And of course, at the end here, if I trim, same thing. So power trim, I will remove that. I can make a fillet from here to there, a small fillet here to there. You can do that or specify your value if you prefer. Okay, I got the complete definition and I will exit. Right mouse click and I will again do a revolution. Software tries to make a complete revolution. It's okay for me, but I don't want to make a merge. So I will don't merge or don't cut. I will create a 360 degrees from there. And if I display now my CAD, I get the two definition, but this is wrong because it's a complete revolution. So I will just display now my real part and I will create planes on the part, and I will create the plane that defines this end and that end. So at the same time, I can, if I want to, constrain that axis to the X direction. So I can constrain axis to the X direction and preview. So you can see the plane and okay. I will do exactly the same on the other side. So here, shift and there. And still the same constraint and okay. Now, if I display my solid bodies, so that one, so to revolve, I will now cut this solid body. So I will go to model and cut using that plane and that plane, I will cut this target next and keep that and that. All right. And now if I display my complete parts, here it is. I can, if I want to now, I can merge those two bodies. So Boolean and merge and OK. And you can see that the software simplifies the area where it connects and you don't see any transition. Okay, so now I will do the endpoint of that. So the endpoint, the other side is this area. So this area is an extrude. So I will go here, right mouse click on this area on this plane and make a mesh sketch. So I'm not sure. You see that it doesn't propose me anything. So which means that this revolution is not a plane. So I made a mistake here. I will make it horizontal just to make sure that this is a plane, and I can check again if it's still good. It was a little bit shifted, and okay. So right mouse click here, mesh sketch, and I will move it up a little bit. So if I go here, I can see that this is a polygon. So I will ask the software to build here a polygon. So polygon will be in polygons, and I will make a polygon here. Roughly, just define roughly the definition. Then I will ask the software to make this line horizontal, and then I will magnet to the part. Of course, if you like, you can make a smart dimension and define this circle and round it to the tenth of millimeter. Okay, exit. And now I will make an extrude on that. So extrude, and I will make sure that I'm going to the right position. So I'm going to the top. I will go to the side view. Again, I can create a plane and go up to a plane. This is 33.28. I don't like those values. So 33.25 or 33.3, 33.3. And don't forget that maybe it's not flat here, so I will maybe go in the opposite direction and push it to maybe 2 millimeters and merge. Now, if I display the part, I got a good connection and a good definition of that part. Now, I will just create the little part here where I can display this little thing. So this will be most likely an extrude, not a revolve. So I will right mouse click here on this plane, mesh sketch. So as it's an extrude, I don't need to make revolve on that. So I will just increase the size to have that on both directions. Even though I can create only one, that's what we'll do here. I will switch the screen, maybe rotate it a little bit, and I will from that create a line. So one line here, one line there. And from those two lines, I will create a tangent arc. So from here to there. Or if you want to have directly the tangency between the two, you can create also a fillet. So from here to there, click on hold and position your fillet. Okay, so that is nice. You can still modify it. If you don't want to check and change that, you can lock those two lines and move and adjust that. And after that, you can remove the lock on those two lines. So this is just temporarily. And then I will just create a vertical line from here to there. So from here to there. And I will trim those segments. So corner trim here and there. Exit. I will just re-edit the sketch and convert or create. I will just create a center line right in the center of the sketch. So center line at the center of the sketch here to there. And I will make a mirror of using that line of those curves, and OK, and exit. Now I will extrude that using the method midplane, display the cloud, and I will just include everything here. So I don't want to go too high or too far. I will just make it roughly the size of that, maybe 14 millimeters, so plus or minus 7. And I don't want to merge yet. And OK. Now, on this area, I want to get the shape or the position of those lines or planes. I will just go to Home, use that selection tools line, go on that plane, control, and move the plane roughly in the position of that. If you don't like that position, edit it and move it down to 51. OK, and I will make here a mesh sketch. So make sure that it goes through all the parts. OK, and from that, I will make a line here to there, here to there, and I will connect those lines by trimming those two lines, and maybe I can make a rectangle. So maybe I will make an easy rectangle, a center one. So if I go to rectangle and center rectangle, I will go to the center here and I will make it that size and make sure that I extend my curves up to the end of that. OK, and exit. Now I will extrude that. So extrude that shape and that shape in midplane. Again, as before, I will display my solid bodies and I make sure that I include everything here, which is the case. I don't cut or merge. OK. And finally, I will just go to Model and Boolean. I will cut using that body, and I will cut that shape and that shape. OK. And now, as before, I can go to Boolean and merge here all the bodies, my 3 bodies, and OK. Now, if I continue on that, I will finish with this shape, with the opening there. So again, if I look at the cloud here, I got an opening there. I will just make a mesh sketch here. Again, I will make both directions because I don't have mirror. And so now I will create the curves. So of course the curves have to be done in there. So I need to create that line. So I will create lines here, that one there, and the same on the other side. So I can make just that one, and I will make a symmetry on the other one. So let's create a center line right in the middle over there. And I will maybe create a line from here perpendicular to that one, and also one there. Okay. I will maybe push it a little bit to go inside to make sure that I remove enough material. And I will also create a line from here to there, not too high. So of course I will remagnet my sketch and trim it, corner trim, and make sure that I don't touch this area. Okay. And finally, I make a mirror using that symmetrical line, and the entity to mirror are going to be those entities. So it fits perfectly. Okay, and exit. Right mouse click here and extrude. So I will just check that I'm going to midplane. And of course, afterwards, you can always modify that. And I have to make sure that I remove that. So if it's not right, I can always go back and modify my sketch. So here I'm going to increase a little bit the distance, so 8, and cut. All right, so of course, if I look there, it's not right because I didn't go far enough. So I can always go back to my sketch and maybe here pull it. So you see it pulls it on both sides and exit. And as you can see, everything has been updated and I don't touch the side. Now, to continue with that, I need to do the inside of the part. So let's do again a mesh sketch here on the part. Again, it's important to go in the right position. So I will maybe not use that plane. I will maybe use that one to get the full inside. And okay, I will just get the inside of that. So let's go line and create my curves. So that one is not right. I will take one point and move it out to get horizontality. And again, you can create by double clicking or by just clicking like that, you define horizontality and verticality. And otherwise, you have to do it afterwards, like right mouse click on the line and verticality. This one got angle. And if you do it for outside, you need to remagnet the curve. Let's finish that with that curve and that curve. Again, that one will be vertical. And between those two, I will create a fillet as the software to add a dimension on that and create a fillet here to there and be sure that you get the right one and modify 315. Okay. I can do exactly the same right here. So from here to there and so 0.8, I will do it afterwards, modify it afterwards, and that one will be 0.8. So 0.8 and 0.8. Okay. I just check if everything is connected. So you see that there is a disconnection there. So I will trim it. Maybe I can modify that one and trim, corner trim from here to there. Okay, and I got also an issue there. Okay, and I will finish that by creating a line from here to my axis there, from here to my axis there. So it's not really well defined right now, but I will just convert as we did before my z-axis, and I will trim in corner trim those two. I can of course right mouse click and convert that, and I want to be outside so I can pull those lines. It's still connected and exit, and at the end right mouse click and revolve and cut. Okay, so if I display the part, this is the part I got at the end. And I can always check for accuracy and check for different things on the part. So if you want to check accuracy, just need to go deviation from body and check that. You can see that I missed that area. I can again go back and make a plane roughly at the bottom of this area. So I can shift the plane to 7 millimeters just below. And right mouse click here, mesh sketch again. Still the same process, make a big one and go inside the part. So inside the part, you can see that this looks like a square. So I will make here rectangle, here, there, and it will fit automatically a rectangle on the selection and the last two here. And okay, this rectangle, I can create a little fillet at the end if I want to. Otherwise, I can just exit, right mouse click, extrude, and I will extrude it from here up to there. But you can see that while I'm doing that, I will have a little issue on the part. I will merge that, okay, because now if I display my part, the CAD, I got my square up here before my revolution. So it's not empty. So again, it's a CAD software. So my revolve that removes everything inside. I can click here and move it down and reorder. And now I got it well defined. And again, I can still go back to this sketch and say, well, okay, but those square, I need to make a little fillet of 0.1, so specify value of, well, 0.25. And let's see how it does here. 0.25 here, 0.25 there, and go on the rest of the part. And okay, and everything again is updated on the part, and you have a nice definition of your part of your connector. And here I just created some fillets and add some extra material. And again, at the end, always go to the deviation from body, and you can see that it's quite accurate.